Things are getting pretty hot in Athens. Unable to pay their enormous debts to the European Union due to their inability to control their spending, Greece is on the verge of another financial meltdown, and now they're upping the ante, calling for annexation of German assets in Greece as reparations for World War II. One has to wonder what the Greeks are thinking, as this is a battle they will not win. The foundation of this problem is just like most national economic problems. The Greek government for years sponsored a social welfare state that messed up incentives in the Greek economy, causing two very typical things. First, for economic growth not to be robust enough to generate adequate income for the government, and second, for expenses related to the social needs getting out of hand. Thrown together with the global credit debacle of 2008 and 2009, the Greeks ended up in a mess. They've survived by continually borrowing from the European Central Bank while at the same time imposing belt-tightening measures in an attempt to get their economy back in shape. This austerity wasn't pleasant for the Greeks, who are emotionally frustrated by their second-class citizenship now brought upon them, and in response to this, they elected a socialist of the far-left Syriza party to lead their nation back. Alexis Tsipras, the new Greek prime minister, has threatened to default on these loans, but has recently backed down on that threat, realizing that Greece needs more loans from its European community partners. Partners? Seriously? All right. Well, anyway, now it is reported that the highest levels of the Grecian government are calling for annexation of German assets and reparation for Germany's crimes 70 years ago in World War II. This is a bad move on the part of the Greeks, and it's a move brought about in desperation, a sure sign that things are not going well for them in their attempts to renegotiate their loans. The question for you and for me is, what does this all really mean? How will this play out in the markets? Well, there are a couple of observations. First, as Greece and its European Union colleagues increase their rhetoric, leading to a conclusion of default, the U.S. dollar will gain strength as people will sell their euros, expecting there to be a significant problem with the Union and its currency. This is a good short-term trade, but do not get caught up in the emotion of doom and gloom. In the long run, the consequences of Greece not settling with the European community is so dramatic that it's almost unthinkable. Should Greece thumb its nose at the European community and thus start down a path that breaks up the EU, the economy of Europe will suffer greatly. But as importantly, this isn't just an economic issue. This can turn into a military issue. Should the European community suffer through this, it will call into question the strength of NATO as a counterbalance to Putin's Russia. Already, Putin is in the process of re-annexation of the Ukraine. He has made overtly aggressive statements toward Finland, and he has renegotiated the installation of a bomber base in the Crimea. All of this being done without a strong, resolute NATO against him, and he will therefore stand to push territorial gains to their breaking point. And the worst part? Neither Putin nor the NATO members seem to really know where that breakpoint is. Keep a close eye on Greece in the next week or so, as this will likely settle as the stakes are so high. But if they don't, if egos and all of the other garbage get in the way, the outcomes of this go-around with Greece could be permanent.